I was here 5.5 minutes early. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, sure you were.
I was.
Yeah. But we had story time.
Was.
But we had story time.
Give you story time.
No, well, but you have to be on camera for that.
No.
Tell us a story.
No, nobody needs. No.
There once
my
was a man named Mike.
My voice is more than enough for people to understand.
There was once a man named Mike who rode downhill on a bike.
Yeah.
He sprained his knee and had to pee. Oh, go look at Mike. There you go. Haiku or some shit.
Is it just me, or since I've joined this show, it's all gone downhill from here, folks? There's no intro. There's no nothing anymore.
Nah, I blame the fact that it's been like 90 degrees. I had to give a blood today. I had to have no food, then I ate. Then I ate too much. Then I had to take a nap because I had no freaking energy. And then it's also 100 degrees still, and I'm still waking up. So, I took a 30-minute nap, which, on your title it said sleeping before show. So I hope you had a better sleep than I did. Not really, but it is what it is. Yeah. Well. And if you don't know who we are live, everybody, and welcome to the Dragon's Lair. I am your host, Kai, with my co-host, TFG1 Mike of Geekcast Radio. And I have to give him a hard time because it is Wednesday, and haven't streamed the last few days. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you why.
Scorching sun,
100-degree weather, trying to get videos out for the Guardian section, plus the videos out for trying to plan content for you guys on this channel has just warm out. So not quitting, not going anywhere. It's just one of those things that you have to deal with one time. Sometimes you just have to take a little bit of a breather. Absolutely. Just one of those things, I suppose. Yep. I'm not sure if we are actually functioning on YouTube right now. So
could be. So I'm on here.
So hopefully
I see it. I see it
working
moving
correctly. Because it's being weird.
Nobody's in the chat yet, but I see besides me.
It's weird. It says like nobody's in the chat, but that can't be accurate because usually people are watching. So I don't know with YouTube. I have no freaking clue with YouTube. I know that the weird thing with YouTube is the algorithms change a bit. They notify when people are going live or they're not recommended to the right people. It's interesting. It's also frustrating. So
yeah, YouTube has always been a frustrating animal that I just do not.
No, and that's the one thing, because it's like, we listen to the gurus sometimes and they say, oh, you got to have the greatest thumbnail. You got to have some, have top class. I do have energy, Ram. I do have energy. It's going to be a long night. But
there's Ram. I don't see. Oh, there's Ram.
You don't see Ram? Is he John Cena now?
Yeah. No. I see him. That might be better if he was.
Yeah. So, no, what I think is interesting is, some things grow, some things don't. And it's hard to say which avenue you take. I am looking at guides. But, damn it, didn't mean yawn. Sorry about that. It's just waking up. I don't know. The sun bakes it out of you, though. I can tell you. You get fatigue from the heat. So it's like one of those things.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, what do you do? But Guardian stuff's going well. I just hope YouTube starts pushing that content more. I'd like to get a backlog on that so I can start working on a lot more videos for you guys on this channel. Biggest difficulty, I think, honestly, is just trying to get guides and stuff out. I like doing live streams because I like interacting with everybody, but I know a lot of people don't like watching a 4 or 5 hour live stream, but I always don't think that's necessarily true because I've seen people watch. Damn it. That's what I get for waking up. I should have slept longer. Anyway, I am awake. It's just yawning.
If you slept longer, we would be later longer.
Yeah, and when is there and when is now? But no, I've been exhausted. Well, it didn't help that I had to go without any food or caffeine or anything for
12 hours.
I'm an accountant, trust me.
Yeah, we trust you. That
20 hours.
Okay, 20 hours.
20 hours, yeah.
Short.
Yeah, so I was like exhausted. I sit there and think about that for a minute. I was like, oh yeah. And then I had to eat and finally ate, which is the worst thing to do because you're like, because everything sounds good.
Yep.
But no, at least I don't have to do that for a while. But looking at the overall things we got going on in the world, well, we got Dr. Disrespect. That's an interesting topic in itself. Been very interesting because there's been so many people on either side of it. And, you know, then Dr. Disrespect came out and said, hey, yeah, he did chat with a Whisperer minor on Twitch. And nobody knows the age, nobody knows anything. He just said it was inappropriate. Nothing else happened. Then he'll come back later. Yeah. But with all the deals being pulled on him and everything, I kind of feel like at this point his career's done and there is no recovery. It's kind of like, and there's people that are going to disagree with that, but even like the other big news that hit the YouTube sphere, like Ricada. I just don't see how when you have that kind of odds stacked against you, and it's bad news, that you're going to turn around and be able to come back. I mean, if you look at DSP, you look at Wings of Redemption, you look at Boogie 2998, all these old OGs of YouTube that grew fast, made money, were kicking ass on YouTube, and then they fell apart and did the dumbest shit in the world to pretty much ruin their careers. They have been around, but they've never been relevant as much as they were back in the heyday. So even if Dr. Disrespect does come back, or Ricada comes back fully, I don't think they're ever going to recover from the amount of damage and distrust that they have brought to their community.
No, because if you burn a bridge like that, you can try to do a comeback after a couple of whatever, but the people that you burned or whatever, they're not going to follow you again. Like, why would they do that? That's going to make them look stupid. Like, I don't know, dude. So
it's interesting.
Without naming names or naming whatever, I used to follow a Transformers YouTube channel, and we did all kinds of stuff together. We did all kinds of collaborations, everything else. He used to be on several of the podcasts. Hell, I even gave him his own podcast at the time. And at one point, it was me just asking him to participate in something. 2021, we did over at the Geekcast Radio Network, geekcastradio.com, we did the top 100 Transformers characters countdown. Basically, we give out this whole list every time we do one of these things with all these rules and all these guidelines so people know what the hell they're doing. And basically, you make a list of your top 100, your personal top 100 favorite Transformers characters. And the dude just didn't want to have anything to do with it, and I'm like, really, dude? I don't ask you for nothing. And I watch all your stuff, and I watch this, that, and I haven't paid attention to the dude since then, but it's just like, it's that kind of thing. Yes, Ricada and Dr. Disrespect, maybe they have gone one step a little too far kind of thing, obviously, and we don't know the whole story behind the whole Twitch chat, whatever. Personally, again, I will say this every week once we're talking about things that include, minors and whatever else. I'm not a parent, but my mother and my father raised me with, the common sense and and manners and values of if I ever was to become a parent personally, I would not let any child 13 or 13, no teenager, nothing. You don't get social media until your 18th birthday. End of story. Social media right now in 2024 is too GD toxic and too just, you can get into so much trouble if you go looking for it. And just know, kids don't need that. Teenagers don't need that. They've got enough stress in their own lives and whatever else. You don't need, online stress is a whole other bag of worms that no child or teenager needs, in my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. And the sad thing is, you keep bringing all these names to me. I'm like, I've been watching YouTube for 15, 16 years. I've never heard any of these people.
Really? That's interesting.
I've never heard of Ricada. I've never heard of Dr. Disrespect. Never. Up until you mentioned them to me. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Rich at Review Tech USA, or have you heard of Wings of Redemption, or DSP, or Boogie 2998? Interesting. Nope. Those were big YouTubers with millions of subscribers, which proves to me one other thing, that even if you have 1 million subscribers, 2 million, some people will never hear about you ever. The way YouTube works, the way the YouTube sphere works, so they've never been in your feed, which is interesting throughout your time on YouTube.
And then the thing is, and I've said this before, and I've told you this before, I don't let any social media, whether it's video streaming, whatever, I don't let it, if it wants to suggest stuff, fine. Half the time I don't listen to the suggestions. I search things out. I look for the content that I want to watch. I don't let algorithms control me.
That's for the most part. Well, that's interesting because, like, we brought this up. You didn't know who iDubbbz was. You didn't know who Keemstar was. You didn't know. It's interesting because a lot of those were big OGs back in the YouTube days that are. I think Keemstar's about the only one half-assed relevant anymore, but that's just because he does nothing but drama.
Oh God! See, that's not something I would watch.
Yeah, I don't either.
Like,
the only reason I know about him is because iDubbbz did a content cop on him one time back when iDubbbz was funny.
Yeah.
But the YouTube landscape changed because back in the old days, content creators, like you're talking about, could respawn with another video and all that shit. Well, back then, creators would respond with an actual video, roasting the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
And
that was always a thing.
And it was funny, but then YouTube said, oh, you can't bully anymore. You can't talk about somebody else anymore. You can't refute stuff. So over the course, YouTube has gotten more fragile when it comes to things, and they don't like... how I want to word it is they've gotten soft. People can easily get banned now for sneezing. You just never know. So it's really, you have to toe the line quite a bit more than you ever had to in the past.
Right.
And
well, the thing is, and we've talked about this before, the entirety of YouTube has changed, but also the way content is made and consumed on YouTube.
Correct.
You have, like, when I joined YouTube, August of 2008, I think. I think that's what it was. It was these short form toy reviews or that kind of stuff, or this, that, and the other thing. It wasn't like back in 2008, to my knowledge, maybe they were just starting out. But there wasn't NBC, there wasn't Fox, there wasn't CBS, there wasn't all these big TV channels trying to break the YouTube thing that back then, because YouTube was for creators that wanted to create that.
Yeah, you had Philip DeFranco. He covered most of the news back then. It was just, hey, hello, you beautiful bastards. And yeah, that was the thing. And Ramcross said, algorithms, your daddy, bend the knee. It is today. I mean, it is today, unfortunately. But it's interesting how the landscape has changed so much that you have to be careful what you say on every talk show now. You have to watch everything you say. And it's not, and not even politically correct. It's not even the social grammatics that people say, like on X or Twitter or whatever the hell you want to call it, or wherever else. It's just a subject matter, maybe taboo all of a sudden. And it could be easiest as, is water safe for you to drink? That
depends on where you live.
Right, but literally, this subject could get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Hey, Diane. So it's interesting.
Hey,
so it's interesting how everything has changed from the time I used to watch it. And then, of course, you got all the guys that are always getting shadow banned and stuff like that. Which sometimes I think we get sucked into the shadow ban, but I think it's more the algorithm not understanding what flows to, what it feeds to. I know a lot of them sometimes say it's related to the audience, but this is what I've discovered. Audience is not the algorithm.
No.
And a lot of gurus that have made money off telling people, you can make money on YouTube. The algorithm is the guru, is the audience. This is what they want. The only thing that YouTube is good for a creator is suggestive ideas. Like, now that it's understanding that the main focus of the other channel is gardening, it's starting to show me stuff that's frequently being searched for on the internet. Like how to trim your tomatoes, how to take care of your tomatoes, how to take care of your potatoes, which is giving me ideas for videos to help answer a question. That is really cool. That part is nice because it's at least telling me, okay, we kind of figured out where your realm is here, so we can kind of give you ideas of stuff that's being searched and not answered. So that's a good tool. That's a tool that should have been in there. But now, if we pull up a talk show, you're not going to get the same thing. You're not going to get it because it doesn't quite understand it, because we're a gaming and culture content talk show. We talk about movies, we talk about books, we talk about games, we talk about the stuff that's happening that influences even our day-to-day lives. This content creator stuff that's going on right now may not affect us today, but we've had 3 adpocalypse on YouTube. We've had Twitch do boneheaded decisions and cause chaos, such as, does anybody not remember the Night of the Porn?
Yes, oh Lord.
When Twitch said artistic nudity was okay, and next thing you know, literally that whole 24 hours was probably the worst history for Twitch. And I'm surprised they sure as hell didn't get sued or in deep trouble for that.
Honestly, I kind of wish they would have.
I kind of wish they would have too, because the big debate that I've been hearing. So Dr. Disrespect, admitted that he whispered to a minor. Nobody knows how old it is and who they are, anything like that. Okay, so we're not going to go too deep in that. But the discussion is Twitch even really a platform that should be for minors at this point? You have basically OnlyFans Lite. You have all that stuff going on Twitch already. And it should be an adult site at this point. But granted, this happened back in 2017. So obviously, and I'm not going to say I defend the guy either. I mean, in my opinion, if you're married, that's something you just don't do.
Exactly.
And I've seen too many content creators get in this pitfall, this rock star mentality, or they start flirting with people and then their lives go to shit. And let's just say it's not something you should do. You should be a good creator, make yourself engaging, but keep that shit at home. Keep it off the internet, because it's just going to hurt you. It's just going to hurt your followers. It's just, I mean, that's where I was at. Because at first, without hearing the evidence or anything, I was like, well, let's just hear it, because we've seen too many people get accused of stuff over the course of the internet erroneously, and then their lives are ruined. When he came out and admitted he did it, I mean, there's still missing information, and he's lost a lot of sponsorships on this, all that. But the interesting thing is, and this is what I was telling somebody, because Twitch employees broke the NDA, and it's technically not a crime right now. And if it's not a crime, because guess what? Nothing else went on other than maybe a whisper, and that's it. I don't know, don't all the facts, but technically, the ex-Twitch employees could potentially end up being sued by Twitch if they had their head out of their ass. They probably would, because now that they broke the NDA settlement with Dr. Disrespect, he can probably turn around and sue Twitch now too for all the deals he's lost, because now they broke an agreement. And some people say, "Oh well, the NDAs can't cover up crimes." Well, obviously this wasn't a crime, because if it was, we wouldn't be talking about this, and Twitch would be in deep shit. So, I've seen different lawyer takes on this, and most of them are saying the same thing. Why are they letting minors on Twitch? Twitch is not a place for anybody under 18. Hell, I don't think it's a place for people under 21 at this rate. So, I mean, it's a wild situation, and I'm going to continue to follow up on that, but I've seen people still arguing on both sides about this. And my side is, he shouldn't have done it. Can I think he'll recover? Maybe, but I think at this point he probably should retire gracefully and just move on. He had a good run. 2-time champ, but I don't think this is a good idea to come back. Even, you know, and he left a good message, like telling people to fuck themselves and everything, and that he'll be back. And but the damage is done at this point. Even if it happened in 2017, the damage is done. And you're not going to change the mind of the masses. And when people that you game with, that you defended, turn their backs on you because they're like, I can't support this because I'm going to lose everything. I get why Tim the Tap Man and the other guy have came out with a statement saying, I can't support this, I'm done with him. I get it, because they were trying to be the arbiters of virtue for their little cause. Well, guess what? Now they have a hard choice. Do they, pretend everything's okay, or do they say, well, sorry? And I think he's going to find it harder to recover than he ever has, especially with deals, because he lost like Turtle Beach. He lost. He got kicked out of his own a game company that he founded and stuff. So I mean, it's not a pretty deal.
That just is just not. Really quickly, going back to YouTube suggestions and stuff, I have most of my video library across anything I've purchased, it's across Amazon, it's across everything. So anything I've purchased shows up in YouTube. Well, as I have the live stream up here, guess what my suggested videos are under our video right now? My purchase of Wild Hogs and Con Air, a YouTube
Good
channel
movies.
I've never heard, a YouTube channel I've never heard of that also does games. My purchase of Back to the Future 2, also excellent movie, and then 2 music videos of artists that I pay attention to. That's my top 6 videos right under the screen that we're currently on now. And then under that is a bunch of shorts from several things I do actually follow. And then,
ooh la la.
ooh la la. And then, so it just, the YouTube serviceability of that algorithm of what it actually shows me,
it struggles to find me stuff. I have to look for it directly. So if I don't know what I'm looking for, it's like pulling teeth. And then they just send me stuff that is not relevant but has like 100 million views to it or something. It's like irrelevant.
Well, like if you're not live, or if other people that I watch aren't live or whatever else, or nobody's put it. Like, I can look at my subscription page and I'm just like, I don't care about that Netflix trailer. I don't care about that Netflix trailer. I don't care about that. I don't care. There's just so many things because, again, YouTube has changed so much, and you have platforms like Netflix and YouTube and Hulu and Paramount and everything else. And if you subscribe to those channels like I do, you're going to see everything they release. And I'm just like, nope, don't care. Nope, don't care. Nope, don't care. I'd actually like to see some tech videos. I see tech videos like, I don't know, maybe once a week now from almost all of the 17 different tech creators I follow. And I get it. Content creation is what it is, and everybody has their own schedule and everything else. But it's just like every morning I open my YouTube subscription page and I'm like, there's not a single video on this screen right now, unless I missed a live video from last night or the whatever, that I actually want to watch. And basically what I'll do is then, because I'm a YouTube premium subscriber, which will probably carry us into one of our stories, I will go through movies and TV, because 16 years ago YouTube didn't have movies and TV, you know. So I'll go through that or whatever else. Hell, I remember the one night that, you know, it was like 4 a.m. You and I watched Bad Boys for Life. So, you know,
Nice, we'll do that again.
Probably. Yep.
Nah, not probably. It'll happen.
No,
It'll
no.
happen. The stars will align. The moon will turn blood red, and there'll be wolf howls, and then it'll be like, hey, you gonna watch Bad Boys 4? Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So this, you've got this. I sent this to you from Phone Arena. This was updated June 19th of 2024. Google reportedly canceling YouTube premium subscriptions purchased using VPNs for lower pricing. Users who have been enjoying YouTube Premium at a discounted rate through the use of VPNs are now facing cancellations, as Google is reportedly cracking down on this practice. A recent Reddit thread, which Reddit is the worst place of hive of scum and villainy ever, revealed that a numerous subscribers who had been using VPNs to access lower price subscriptions in countries like Ukraine had their memberships abruptly terminated. No crap! Duh!
Well, so I took my shades off here for a minute just to talk about.
Yes, you did.
But
yes.
this isn't the
first.
This isn't the first time this has happened. This isn't.
Right.
So, how you want to get cheap subs? Apparently, grow your gaming channel with Marcus, the guru. Said the greatest way you can do it, even though if you just want subs. Change your currency to Argentinian or Ukraine or any in the Eastern Europe or whatever, and buy commercials over there.
But that's anywhere. Not what this is.
But the thing is, so when you run the commercials for every view, it's way less. They were talking, and he was talking about that on his channel, and I'm like, that's ridiculous. So in the same essence, they were talking VPN. You can change it to Argentina and get your YouTube Premium much cheaper, which is wild that we're having this issue. But especially with Google, they're really supposed to be advanced technology. So I'm really surprised that either one of those, but that's what it reminded me of, because I happen to know a few channels that suddenly just exploded, but their viewership and stuff doesn't really even line. They get about what we do, but they have like almost 15,000 subs, and I'm like, and the thing is, and it's been proven, those subs, when you buy them basically through paying ads, they don't correlate to people that'll watch your content. It's just to pad your score. And but people do that because even these indie game companies, a lot of these smaller game companies say, oh, well, you have to have 5,000 subs or 10,000 subs or 30,000 subs. They don't look at the watch time. They don't look at the quality of the channel. They don't look at that stuff. They look at how many subs you have. So you got guys like that pad their numbers, and it's freaking wild. Me and Ruggles were talking about that too. So
it's crazy. It's just crazy. But again, for me, it's like like, I understand that any streaming services, they all get rights or they all have rights, and the rights sometimes move from streaming service to streaming service. Hell, before Paramount and Disney and everybody got into this thing, you had Netflix and Hulu fighting over the rights to whatever show. Like, your favorite TV show could be on Netflix one month, it could be on Hulu the next month, and you just have to switch the subscription if you want to keep.
Luckily, they haven't locked you into contracts yet. The day they do that's the day I think the streaming services die.
Yeah,
because they keep going up. I mean, Paramount's going up $2 for their ad free and their ads, and it's like, all these companies are just draining us dry. And the worst time, and I'm not going to get too political here, but in the worst time with our economic issues that could lead to a recession, because everything is so super inflated, and we get politicians that said, I never noticed anything in the grocery stores going up. I didn't notice that. And of course, they're worth like billions. So how the hell do they know? They probably don't even shop. Their butler does. And I was just thinking about that today because one of them happened to say that. And I'm thinking, since the last 4 years, I have paid 30 to 40% more in my groceries, everything. I used to get a nice little savings that I could turn around and reinvest in, invest in the show, the programming, all that stuff, because I've had this little extra flexible income. This year, I've noticed even with where everything's at, it's just enough to pay bills, barely try to eat healthy. And you sit there and cut the costs and you look at it and you roll the dice on sometimes, and sometimes it pays off. And it's like, how can you think of raising your rates on a streaming service or any of that? If it's happening to me, it's happening to Joe next door. If it's happening to Joe next door, it's happening to Susie 2 states down. There is a problem here. And so when these companies keep raising their rates on their streaming services, there's going to be a time where I'm going to say, sorry, Netflix. Sorry, Paramount. I need that extra $20, $30 to go pay the electric bill. Or I need it to pay for groceries. Or, to go get my kid the G.I. Joe action figure with the Kung Fu grip. You just, and if you remember that quote, ladies and gentlemen, you're an 80s nerd. Thank you.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's how it is.
Yeah, no, it is. But and the thing is, people that might come against us on this, they'll be like, well, you don't have to have. Netflix is not a bill. It's entertainment. It's a choice to have that so you can be entertained at some point. You don't have to subscribe to 7 different blah, 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 blahs. So, I mean, I get it both ways, but my point is...
But then you're canceling sub and canceling sub.
Right.
And you're bouncing back and forth, and you're playing whack-a-mole. Oh, well, Netflix have my show this month. Oh, well, HBO Max have my show this month. Oh, hey, Transformers 8's coming out. I got to subscribe to Paramount if I watch that. You get fatigue. Now you got Amazon that's doing more of this shit. And Amazon used to come with just your Prime. Now it's, well, now we have to tack on more money. It's the never-ending quest for more money to basically suck dry the people that are the consumers. And at some point, I am still certain we're going to go back to the cable.
Yep. Dude, let me tell you, we talk about this all the time, but there ain't no media like physical media. I don't mind, literally... I don't. So somebody was like, I follow, is it Dawn of the Discs? Yeah, Dawn of the Discs on Facebook. They give all these news updates about what's coming out on Blu-ray or 4K or whatever. And because I have a 4K television, I'm like, okay, well, if I can get it in 4K, and as long as I can afford to purchase that, I will do so. I have already set aside in my budget for August and September to get 2 new releases. Can't Hardly Wait is now going to be on 4K, and A League of Their Own is joining the 4K realm. And somebody was like, you pay that price. I'm like, you damn right. As long as I get the disc, I don't care what I have to like. As long as it's not ridiculous. I think because at the time I didn't have my Prime membership activated. It was like, oh, you're gonna do this. Like, fine. I don't mind paying $51.80 for a 4K media thing that I know I'm gonna have until I'm buried with it, most likely. But it's just one of those things where, yeah, you're gonna be leapfrogging. You're gonna be this. You're gonna be that. Whatever. And that's why, yeah, it's why physical media should never die.
But it is, and they're talking about
I know
with the space and issues that streaming services are having, they're going to start pulling stuff off that may not be relevant to somebody else, but it could be to you, and they just don't have no space for it. Also, would you guys kindly smash that like button? It helps the YouTube algorithm, maybe promotes the show a little bit. Let's try to keep getting the momentum up to 10 likes again. You guys are all appreciated. And if you know what I was doing here for a minute when I was looking at this and this, well, if you guessed ceiling cats, you are correct. Congratulations.
Oh, no.
You know too much about the internet.
Exactly.
That was a running joke with certain somebody that drank too much and then constantly stare upward like this.
Yeah, the ceiling cats don't dance.
Yeah. But speaking of which, then we got an interesting topic tonight. CNN.
Oh no.
The most trusted news source. The dumbest thing in trusted news source, but that's to be expected. I wouldn't trust CNN with a 10-foot pole. So apparently CNN is doing the presidential debate tomorrow, which you think should be free and everybody should be able to watch it and all that. Well,
oh no.
And commentator. No. Apparently, CNN has been telling a lot of YouTubers that do independent media, independent commentary, independent all that if they sit there and commentate about everything on their show, they're going to be copyright striked.
Oh, wow.
And several of them said bring in, several of them said they're going to go to the stream it on X or Rumble and stuff. And I'm like, when I was thinking about that, so certain stuff, CNN, Fox News, all those own. All those breaking news stories, those news stories that you think is public domain, they're necessarily not. The footage, all that stuff can be considered theirs. I learned this today because I was talking with somebody that used to work in mainstream media. So what makes it different is how far you can take it with fair use. So you can go with fair use and you could pause it like literally every 2 seconds and have a 10-minute conversation and have a 10-hour stream. They can still flag you. But here's the problem. With YouTube's copyright system being archaic, CNN or default gets it. You get a strike and you have to sit there and fight with CNN. CNN don't have to sit, well, we stand by it. And even if you were to fight back, you're going to probably end up taking it to court. And and I've said this about content creation. One of the hardest things to do is fight the copyright system. And so I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. And in my opinion, if CNN has pretty much basically stated that they're going to go after people that are streaming it tomorrow to do their commentary, in my opinion, YouTube should actually be proactive and say, hey, you can't abuse the copyright system if they're using fair use. But because their copyright system's 90% automated, which I've been through the copyright process. Literally, I had a legal document stating that this weirdo didn't own the music because he was running around claiming all these different people's videos, saying that he owned the music, he created it, because he's trying to steal money.
Right.
Had a legal document from the company that says that's not true, and this guy is running around even claiming against us. There's no place to send a legal letter to YouTube to counterstrike that copyright. I had to say, I have a legal document in my hand that basically states I have permission to use this music as fair use to promote their game. And that all legal contracts and all that have been signed. That's all I could do is say that. And it still took 30 days for them to release that because the person that was doing the false striking just let it lapse over after 30 days. Now, he could have came back and said, well, no, I created it. Your letter's fake. There's no place still to attach that legal document with a lawyer signed. And it's like, this copyright system's archaic and needs updated. So when I heard this, and that's been going all over X about it, and people are like, well, I guess we'll be streaming other platforms. Even Tim Pool, who's been exclusively YouTube, announced yesterday that he'll be on other platforms tomorrow night officially, because he said, no, we're not going to get our channels destroyed, but at the same time, we're not going to put up with being threatened. And it was interesting because that just shows you how much a grip mainstream media is starting to have, even on YouTube and everywhere else, that is basically trying to stifle independent content creators, independent media, independent journalism. And that's frightening. That's very frightening to me, because it used to be YouTube was an open ground for that. But then, of course, we had the whole misinformation crazy thing where misinformation may not be true, may be true. And it's... And
it's a whole bag of worms.
It's a whole bag of worms. And to me, it's like, sometimes truth is the eye of the beholder. And people forget that. Sometimes the truth's somewhere in between both. And we've lost that.
Yeah.
It's just like the Dr. Disrespect, bro. It's like, I want to know. I would like to know what he said. I'd like to know how old the kid is. I would like to know if okay, the Twitch whispers really true, that they were set, whispers could only be 18 plus. If it turned out the Twitch whisper was 18 plus and this kid lied about it and he did it, I would think I would have a little bit more grace and leniency on that, because that's a Twitch screw up there. And Twitch does not get a pass for all this either. And
nobody needs to get beat.
I would also still fault Dr. Disrespect too, but I don't think as harshly, because it'd be like, dude, you're a married man with kids. You should have never been flirting with anybody. That's my perspective on that. But that's where I go with is there's two sides to every story, and somewhere in the middle is the real answer. And we're taking away the real answer. And that's the problem.
Yep. And the thing about CNN and all that, and I'm just like, I get most of my national news online now. I still watch some local. Well, I still watch some local news kind of things, but like, I can pretty much guarantee you, I forget when it happened, but ever since Peter Jennings died, whatever year he died, I'm not looking it up and it's not in front of me right now, but whatever year he died, I stopped watching national news because Peter Jennings was my national news anchor. He's the one that ever since I was a kid. My grandfather liked Brokaw, my mom liked Rather, and Peter, because he was Canadian, he was always in the middle. He didn't matter. And I don't know, it's just like, and it's all so depressing. Like, the politics is depressing. The violence is depressing. This is depressing. Like,
I mean, it's getting bad to the point. So every time I go to the doctor now, and I found out this is a legitimate question now. Are you feeling hopeless? Are you feeling trapped? Are you feeling depressed? Yep. When I was younger, we never heard that crap. We sat there and we just said, hey, doc, I'm not feeling well and all this. Now, and I look at him every time, I'm like, what? And I'm like, no. I'm like, but I said, I guess the fact that you guys are asking this question, I guess maybe social media and mainstream news has made everybody depressed and feeling hopeless. And interesting answer I had from one guy today. He said, I think part of it is there's not enough faith in the world anymore. People have given up faith in each other, faith in God, faith in all this. And it was an interesting conversation. It was just a nurse, and we were talking, and I said, I think sometimes you're right, because we are so glued to social media. We are so glued to 24-hour news. We're so glued. The Anchorman 2 had it right, that drama sells, but now you're seeing that drama and all the bad news is starting to deteriorate people to the point that they start breaking down. The social constructs start breaking down. I mean, let's take example. Look at our presidents over the last 50 years.
Okay.
When they leave office, they look like they've aged 50 years.
Yeah.
The stress, man. The stress, the drama, the negativity. But now you're looking at it on a high level with everybody in the world. Social media. You're looking at it. Think of how much it's aged and worn down, each and every one of us. We have our own demons every day. And then you have that. And then it's just, it stacks and stacks. And it's rough. So it was interesting.
Absolutely.
So it was interesting to hear that. No, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Well, the funny thing is as you're talking about this with social media and everything else, I pointed out to somebody today that, holy crap, I've been on Twitter for 16 years. I joined July of 2008. How the hell would you be
on that for 16 years, man? What was wrong with you? I did it because I was a content creator. What the hell, Linda? What the hell, Linda?
Starting in December of 2008, I was a content creator. So in July of 2008 is when I joined, and so it's been about 16 years. And if you're on your Twitter profile and you scroll down to whatever your featured banner, whatever else, it kind of fades into the background and it shows your Twitter name and how many posts you've made. In 16 years, can you guess how many posts I've made on Twitter?
1,252.
Are you kidding me? Are you? No, you got to go a lot higher than that.
Oh. How about 10,982?
You're about 70,000 off.
Jesus. We gotta pull you off that.
16 years, I've made just under or just at 130,000 posts on Twitter.
And yes, I do have a green screen, guys, because, well, I still have to set my office up. But hey, you gotta see my buddy, my guard dog.
There you go. And the reason why I'm saying that now is because I can tell you in the last week on Twitter, unless I'm promoting something, the last 5 days, 2 posts 5 days ago. I had 4 posts 5 days ago. I had 3 posts 4 days. Like, I'm not on there as much as I used to be. I'm not on any social media as much as I'm there. My accounts are there, but I'm not the most active I am, as his dog licks his face, is on Facebook, and half of the time that's memories from posts I made 12, 13, 14, 15 years ago. It has nothing to do with the current day, unless I'm promoting a podcast. And yeah, I do agree with you. As a whole, the world, let's say, I don't want to just single out America, but the world.
Hey, don't yawn on the show. I did that earlier. Don't do that.
Dog, bite him. I know the dog won't bite you, but it's just one of those things where. Yeah, I know. It's just one of those things where I don't know, man. Like, I'm not so, like, if you send me a link, I'll go look at it to make sure I've, like, if we're preparing for a show. Yeah. Okay, I'll show prep, whatever. Like,
so I just send you funny stuff because Usually when I'm on X now,
yeah.
it's for shit posting and memes. I post, I publicize stuff, but then I just find stuff that's absolutely hilarious, and I go from there. But yeah, this is Charlie. He's been on the garden show quite a bit. He is my bodyguard.
He's been chasing away those garden cats y'all have. Holy crap!
Yeah, we have a giant jackrabbit now. So yeah.
Oh God! Well, that jackrabbit needs to get off the garden.
Yeah, and let's just say he makes a good guard dog.
There you go.
And I tell you what, dogs. I don't care what people say. Dogs make great companions. They don't judge you. They are great friends. They protect you. And I think everybody should have a dog because they're good. And it don't matter what size. They're good companions. I mean, this guy here, I don't have a dog personally, but with my folks staying with me, visiting, and mom helping with the garden, I've got an honor of getting to have the dogs hang out, and he's my buddy.
Awesome.
He hangs out with me a lot, and this is what people need more of. This right here.
Yep.
This
End of
right
story.
here.
Yep.
Not all the negativity, all this, because I mean, fun fact: nursing homes and all these other things, dogs are comfort.
Yep.
For people.
Absolutely.
And they're typically loyal, faithful, and you know, he's 8 years old now this year, so 56 in dog years, I guess. He was really trying to figure it out, but he's a good boy. He saw I was doing a show and he had to go on the air, and literally he could stay like this all night. I'd sit here and hold him all night. It's like, oh man, you're gonna weigh down my arm all night, aren't you, buddy?
Yes, he is.
The only other downside with a dog like this is they've got a massive fur coat. I like short-haired dogs, but he's a wired-haired, so they need a lot more maintenance. But and this was just off topic since he decided he wanted to jump up and be on the show. But yeah, to your point, social media and news is negative, and you need more positive stuff like this, which is why I try to do, like on my shows, I try to do some positive stuff like Manor Lords and all that stuff, because I want you guys to enjoy things. I want you to laugh. I do some shenanigans. I may die. I may all that stuff, but I also like to talk about the news and culture in my own way that isn't like, let's take 20 minutes, let's take an hour to talk about this and this and this. I'd rather mix it up. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about this. And you know what? We'll talk about some funny stories too, as much as we can, or related stories. Hell, Charlie came in here and, you know, for a second, you know, was talking about, hey, this is why dogs are cool. Did you know that dogs are a great pet? Or even for therapy dogs for nursing homes and
therapy
stuff.
Dogs are the best. Yep. Therapy dogs are the best.
Yeah, they're great. So it's just something that you have to think of with that. But the direction that we are going, I think they should ban social media altogether for anybody under 18. Problem is, how do you get people off their phones? Because we've ingrained everybody in society to be on their damn phone. We give 5-year-olds freaking phones now. No kid needs a damn phone like that. Or just, you have the old Star Trek flip phone to dial mom and dad. That's it. You don't need all that fancy shit. And even then, I don't even think half the adults need that crap, because it's handy, but now you've got media 24/7 at your fingertips, no matter where you go. And I think that's part of the social decaying that we're having right now. I mean, like I said, when you go to the doctor's office, and that's the first thing you hear from everybody, are you feeling depressed, hopeless, and all that? One time I made a joke and said, have you looked at the news lately? Have you looked at grocery store prices? who the hell
Yep.
wouldn't? And he just started laughing because he knew I was being a smart ass. But it was like,
Mhm.
it was like, who the hell wouldn't?
Exactly.
Hey, my
Yeah.
3-pound deal of ground turkey that I used to make turkey burgers and eat super healthy because I was trying to avoid beef went from $7.99 to $13.99. That's $6 more that I don't have to spend on other stuff. So eating healthy started going down. Now it's back to pastas and all this crap. And it's like they don't understand that it costs everybody so much to live now. And it's weird. The subjects tonight, most of them all encompass the same broad spectrum. When we're talking streaming service, we're talking news, we're talking all that. People just get so saturated. It's wild. And
well, like the other night, I got so just in my own head and everything else that's going on with my health and whatever else. My health is overall mostly fine, but I have brain damage. And then did you lose your dog? You lose your dragon? What's going on over there? You're distracting me. Stop distracting me. Don't talk over here.
I heard something.
This is a talk show, damn it.
I heard something fall, so I was looking over. Maybe it wasn't me. I heard something fall, and I was looking at my desk. I was like, "What fell?" And I don't hear anything, but I heard something.
Yes, but it's one of those things where and for me, it's more about, it isn't because of social media that I've always suffered from depression. I've suffered from depression since I was a kid in the 80s because of my cerebral palsy and disabilities and all that and everything else. So depression to me happened way before social media ever happened. But the other night, I just got to a point where I'm just like, screw this. I need to escape. And I will say every week, every Wednesday, Saturday, whenever we do the shows, entertainment is meant to be an escape. I think I watched 4 different movies and 3 episodes of a TV show on whichever streaming service or whichever service I own them on the other night because I just didn't want to deal with anything. I turned my phone on Do Not Disturb and just zoned out because that's what I had to do to keep myself sane, kind of thing. And it's just, you're right. It's all too much, and it's all too much all at once. Like, you go, well, let's just say 90, well, do 94. 30 is a nice round number. 30 years ago in 1994, you didn't have news media online because we weren't online yet, I don't think. At least not to the public anyway. The government probably had it, but we didn't have it. But anyway, like 1994, we were all glued to our televisions in our own separate homes watching this white Bronco be chased by cops. Like, we weren't on our faces weren't stuck in phones, or our faces weren't on computers trying to self-commentate on the thing that was going on. And this ties into the culture at large. That happened 30 years ago. And what happened 30 years ago the very next day? Whatever job you have, you went to work and you had water cooler talk with the rest of your rest of the employees, rest of your coworkers, friends, whatever.
Well, you don't dare have water cooler talk today because likely everybody's going to start fighting because now it's gotten so volatile.
It is very volatile, and it's just one of those things where, like, I seek out, like, take yourself for example. You can take Steve Megatron. Steve Megatron has been my best friend for 15, 16, 17 years now, for as long as I've known the guy, and we only do stuff together when we want to do stuff that we like. Can we come at it? With critical thinking and analysis, and sometimes it can be negative, yes. But like, I'm not gonna sit here and waste my time watching a 3.5-hour movie about some dude with furry feet when I would rather be watching spaceships shooting, moons or battle stations or something or other. Like, I'm just not going to waste my time with that. Like you said earlier, we try to bring as much positivity as we can, and even though it may sound like in my vocal tone I'm being negative about this, I'm really not, because if I don't like something, why am I going to cover it? Why? There's so much negative online, specifically online, in podcasting, in video content creation, in everything. There are whole channels and whole podcasts that make their content based on stuff they hate. And hey, that's great if that's what you want to do. There's a, I'm not going to get into the details of this, but there's a podcast out there that actually is a podcast that reviews other podcasts.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, you don't want to.
I'm not going to bring them up, but
yeah.
No.
But so yeah, it's just one of those things where I would rather have you and I, or if Diane joins us, or if Dabbles joins us.
My whole traditional talk show is I want to interview developers, I want to talk about games, exactly. I want to talk about this stuff. I want to talk about pretty much anything and have guests in. We're going to talk about things, have a good time, and make sure our viewers enjoy it. And when you're talking about movies with guys with furry feet, the only thing I could think of is you've been watching Brad's OnlyFans again.
No. Yep. No. And the sad thing is, Mr. Bullshit Gaming over there isn't even in the chat right now. At least if he is watching, he hasn't said anything in the chat.
Yeah.
By the way, folks, if you're on the short side, come on over to the long form. Thank you for liking the shorts, but got a longer show than what shorts offers you.
Yeah, that is true. But, you know, that's also the thing. People's attention spans have reduced quite a bit, so now it's flip. Sometimes, you know, short streams are supposed to draw in people, but yeah. And Brad says he gets paid well, so see, he was there listening. The cat's out of the bag. You've been watching his OnlyFans.
He must be getting paid too well, because he's buying too many Transformers on eBay. I swear, that dude lives on eBay.
He can do it on eBay. Remember that commercial in the 90s?
Oh, God, no. No.
Yep.
God, that's funny.
But, no, I don't know, it's interesting. So, it's like, you know, I try to do some positivity, too, on stuff. Like, I've been enjoying Manor Lords. Great indie game. Yep. Some people say it's not quite indie because they had a little bit better funding. Okay, I'll give them that. Soul Mass, another great game I like. Great game. You got Aska, which isn't bad. So the survival genre has been picking up. Power World's got a new expansion coming out that's part of their early access, so it's not like we're paying anything extra for it. We've got a lot of different stuff coming out that's good quality, and in my brain, I want to do several roasts on reviews because drama sells, but I also have some scathing ideas in my head and thoughts I've wrote down about things like 7 Days to Die with the fun pimps or stuff. But I also have some positive and inspiring reviews to encourage people. So I want to make sure I have a fair balance of them. But also, some of those negative ones, I kind of want to be funny because you got to have a little bit of humor in the negativity.
Yeah.
I mean, I think one of the guys that I watch, Seth, he turns a lot of everything into comedy. Some of his good reviews, some of it's bad. I mean, I remember like when he made a joke about Crusader Kings 2, which DLCs and all that was probably like $400. And he was making a joke. He says, well, if you really want to get the DLCs, you need to go into back streets here and take a left here and leave 2 double cheeseburgers here, back when they're like $1 or whatever. And he, you know, it was good fun. And he filmed all this like it was some spy movie to get this USB drive to be able to play all these DLCs. And, you know, I think some of that's missing. It's just, you know, time permitted to do some of those reviews. But then there are those that know that I'm not very fond of some of the directions some of these developers have went, where they have took their pride and ego and done disservice to what could be even better. So there's this mix of things that I feel like I would write something and do something much like honestly like Critical Drinker, how he does a review on stuff, because yes, some things I would write, I'll bash the shit out, other things that I would say good. But to your point, I don't believe in hate watching either. I'm not going to go watch Star Wars Acolyte because I've already heard well enough about a lot of the stuff and the poorly choreographed fight scenes and stuff. I have no interest in that. Maybe later if I hear that it was better, but right now, and the thing is, people were talking about this the other day. When you sit there and hate watch damn movies, I think it was on Kino Casino. Why are you hate watching stuff? You're giving them a view. It's no worse than the Howard Stern days when people hated Howard Stern, and most people said, we were here just to see what he'll say next. Yeah. So they can say, did you see what Howard Stern said? Well, that's how he got ratings. Stop watching it altogether. Don't watch Velma season 2. Don't watch this stuff. When you sit there and hate watch, it's still considered ratings. It isn't, you know, if somebody were tomorrow to watch this whole stream and then hit dislike, that dislike don't mean shit. You watched the whole thing.
Yep.
That's the whole gist of it. That is hate watching. Yeah. I mean, that's the literal definition. You're better off just not watching it at all. Yep. That's where we have created this problem, and Hollywood knows how to capitalize it, because there is a lot of people on YouTube that hate watch and then do all these videos talking about it, so people watch it, or they don't, and they still use it as ratings.
Yep.
I think Acolyte is one of the worst Star Wars movies or series they've done, and that says a lot. And I haven't seen it personally, but I've seen enough to know, like, I've read enough about it all, I've seen enough to know about it, that it wasn't for me. So why watch it?
Right. No, and that's fine. So several things here. First of all, I understand that Disney is trying to find Star Wars stories that they can tell for television shows, but how can you set something, whatever it's set, like 1,000 years,
100 or some crap,
whatever the number, like, even if it's just 1 year before A New Hope, like, okay, fine. Or no, I take that back. Not 1 year
before New Hope. It was
no, before Phantom Menace. Okay, fine, whatever. How can you do that? And I don't know. And then all
because
this
the writers
stuff,
don't understand the damn lore. They don't understand the writings that exist. Yep. Hell, a lot of people. It's like they don't understand what's already been established, Luke. And we're not even talking about the extended universe. We're talking the Clone Wars. We're talking about stuff. We're not even at the extended universe
we're not even
point.
close to that.
And this is all established stuff that's already been defined by Lucas, and you know, they took a dump on George's work. I mean, you know, say what you will about the prequels, but at least they were better than what Disney has spat out. I will watch Jar Jar Binks and the very first Phantom Menace one, even though I hated Phantom Menace. I will still defend that one over any other Star Wars, because guess what? At least Lucas's work didn't suck.
So, you and I were both born in 1980. We were 3 when Jedi came out.
Mm-hmm.
I did not see any of those films, the 3 original films, till I was probably 9 or 10, so 89, 90. So that's probably when I first saw them, when they first on VHS. I thought they were fine.
Theater.
Yep, okay, drive-in theater, great, awesome, fun. That's great. You know, you then let's just go to 1989. Let's just say we both saw them when we were 9 years old. And you fast forward 10 years, you get The Phantom Menace. My buddy Mark and I were there opening day 1 just to see what it was and whatever. I think I still have the ticket stubs somewhere around here. I used to collect ticket stubs, folks, when I used to go to the movies. So I saw Phantom Menace in theaters. It was okay.
And the thing with
it was okay.
With the Phantom Menace, Mike, is George Lucas tried to add too much American comedy to it with Jar Jar shit.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not my point here. Okay. My point is going to be that it has nothing to do with the Phantom Menace directly. It has nothing to do with that movie directly. 1989 to 1999, 10 years pass. We go back to the very, very beginning where Anakin Skywalker is a kid and everything else and all this and all that. And we have all this lead up. And by the end of Revenge of the Sith is when he becomes Darth Vader. And we lead into what we knew as children, A New Hope, Empire and Jedi, or Star Wars Empire and Jedi, if you really want to call. And that's fine. At that point, when we did our big Star Wars stuff on Movie Week in Review over on the Geekcast Radio back in 2010, 2012, I was done. I was like, okay, we've covered it all. We've covered everything that is available to us visually, movie-wise. The movies are done. I'm okay. I'm fine. Whatever. Ever since then, 2010, 14 years ago, whatever the hell. Yeah, 14 years ago. 14 years ago, I was done with the Skywalker saga because I thought the Skywalker saga was done. I did see...
Technically it was. It's Ray Palpatine now.
Okay. Right, but... Oh, I'm not getting... But the point is that I thought it was done and I moved on to other things and no, Chaos is not here. I know Chaos is not here. Don't do that. Don't pull out her quack. You leave her quackers alone. Chaos. Stop it. But my point is, I remember because we covered Rogue One and Force Awakens. I don't think we ever covered Last Jedi, and I'm fairly certain we never covered Rise of Skywalker. I remember seeing Last Jedi because I had Funko Pops from the Solo. This is so weird. Funko Pops from the Solo movie, and I had them up against the scene in Last Jedi with the AT-ATs. Anyway, the point is, I'm going to be going back to the sequel trilogy to rediscover it and blah blah blah. But my overall, what I've been trying to say in the last 20 minutes here is, I don't give a crap about the Skywalker saga whatsoever. Let Mark Hamill do whatever he wants to do. Let whatever. I am more interested in Din Djarin, The Mandalorian. All, like, when Mando came out, I was like, oh, this is Favreau. This is this. I'm like, oh, I like this. I want to know this. Because again, as I've said before on this show and other podcasts over the last 16 years, I was never a big fan of Boba Fett. I'm still, in general, not a big fan of Boba Fett. I don't care about that character. I do care about Din Djarin as the Mandalorian and Grogu and all that because I like that. Actually, as we're doing this live show, I've got 20 something minutes left of season 2, episode 8, The Rescue. So that's my thing with Star Wars is, if you want to give me Jedi, fine. If you want to give me Sith, fine. Make it anybody else other than a damn Skywalker.
What about Darth Dachshund?
No.
He'd make a good Sith Lord.
Charlie boy, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Well, Charlie would make a good Sith Lord.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Give him a lightsaber. And yeah. Brad corrects us, it's Rey Skywalker. Because she stole the name. God. And his house and his vehicle.
It's all
it's like a divorce.
It's all of it, Brad. It really does not matter.
Well, yeah, sure it does.
Skywalker Palpatine. There you go.
She's starting a new Jedi Order, and she's the future of all the Star Wars movies, per the new director that they got that has never known shit about Star Wars. So, yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Yep.
But that's my thing. Like I moved on from that friend. Like I went during the pandemic. I went back and because I hadn't watched all of it, I went back and I watched all the cartoons. There were plenty of other Jedi that were not named Skywalker in Rebels and Clone Wars and everything.
Yeah.
Mace Windu. I'll say this right now. Mace Windu is my favorite Jedi. End of story.
Now, is it because
It's Samuel L. Jackson? It's Samuel L. Jackson with a purple lightsaber. End of story. And he wanted that purple lightsaber. They didn't just give it to him. He actually had to make them. Well, he didn't make them give it to him, but you know what I mean.
Mace Windu's badass, and you add Samuel L. Jackson to it, it's even more of a badass. That's all.
Yep.
He's a fantastic actor. I love him in all his roles, and he plays such a badass. I like it.
Absolutely.
Although I will say, every time I think of Mace Windu, I think of Pulp Fiction, except it's Hand Me My Lightsaber. It's the one labeled Badass Mother.
Yep, badass mother. Yep. Yep.
But, you know, I think Star Wars has kind of ran its course, really. Because the bad writing over the last decade has just tarnished it. I mean, yeah,
it doesn't have. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to, like, Star Wars as the tent pole does not have to have run its course. You can have things like Mandalorian, like Ahsoka, and you can have all of this. That's fine. Whatever. Even to a slightly lesser extent, the Boba Fett series, the Obi-Wan series, fine. Whatever. Yeah. That's a little more closer to Skywalker. But
the best thing they could do is use the Ahsoka series to completely reboot the whole universe, change history. There was no such things as Skywalkers. There's no such thing as any of this stuff, and wipe the slate clean.
I mean, no,
because I mean, Disney has run its course. I mean, I agree with Brad on that. I mean, Disney should just sell the Lucas products to the lowest bidder at this point and let somebody else fix it.
So what did he sell that for? Back in 2014, what was that? $4 billion.
Yeah, and you know the sad part is Lucas regrets selling it to Disney, and he talked about it. He said, "I had the script ready for a trilogy. I'm just too old to do it." He said, "I had it ready for them, and they just tossed it up." And you could tell Lucas was pissed that his creation went to hell. And,
well, see, here's the thing. He's what, 70 something now?
Yeah, he's in his I think either early or mid 70s now. Let me
so anyway, that. Yeah, I'm working on it. But here's the thing with George Lucas. You gotta just
reach 80 years old.
He's 80 years old right now. So if they offered to him, "Hey, come back, do this, do that," and him saying, "I'm too old," I don't care. If I'm in a hospital bed, as long as I'm not in the crematorium, I will have a microphone in front of my face. I will have headphones on. I will be podcasting as long as, we can, until I die. Like, this whole thing of, I'm too old to work on it. No, you're not.
He was 68 when he sold it to Disney, so that's why he bailed out of it, because he was talking it'd take 10 years to do the sequel.
Well, it's been 10 years. Where's the sequel? Where's his sequel?
Because Disney trashed it.
Yeah. No. I know. I understand that, but I'm just saying, like...
And Ezra, Brad's right. Ezra could change the timeline because he traveled in time through the Force. So you could just basically wipe the slate clean and rebuild stuff using what's there without the Skywalkers, without the Empire. And maybe that's for the best at this point, is a complete slate clean and still use what's there in Star Wars. But, maybe...
I don't necessarily think the Empire needs to be gone. Like, yes, there probably
you can still have the Empire. You can even still do something that's politically intrigued for, like, the first three, that's like the rise of the Empire this time around or something. Like a new Sith Lord has come around or something. There's things you can do without the legacy, because there is no way at this point you will ever be able to fix what you've done in current timeline unless Disney sells and whoever buys it says, yeah, Disney's stuff is shit, I don't recognize it.
So the thing is you look at current day 2024, June of 2024. They bought it for $4 billion in 2014.
Yeah, that's a lot of money back then.
10 years ago, 10 years now, where what company could afford to buy Star Wars from Disney?
Well, if you look at inflation prices
There's
and stuff, it's probably about 20 billion, and the damage it's already had for its
right.
reputation. You're not going to get $20 billion for it because you've ran the franchise completely to the ground. You've flipped off most of the fans. You don't care about the fans. You've burned your fans so bad to the point that most of them have checked the hell out, that were diehard Star Wars, that had Star Wars memorabilia plastered on their walls, and they, you know, it's gone. It's gone. Yeah. That magic is gone. Just like Indiana Jones, that magic is gone. Anything Disney has touched, the magic has faded. There's barely any magic left in Marvel. And I think the magic will be gone on that one too soon. But it's because...
I think I just... Go ahead, sorry.
I think, in my opinion, is because... And I know we've talked about this before, but bad writing and bad ideology has ruined franchises. And what I mean by ideology, I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking, oh, well, we have to do this and this and this and this. Just write a good story. Just write a good story. Stop worrying about quotas. Stop worrying about all that. Just write a good story. You write a good story, things come. I mean, it's back to like we talked about Star Trek. Star Trek had good writing. It broke ground in the time period of Shatner. It did a lot of things that were cool, were, you know, something nobody thought of doing. And, you know, it's one thing we talked with Mike or Steve last week, Mike, was because Star Trek was groundbreaking in so many ways. In the 60s and 70s or whatever hell it was. I think it's 70s. But
60s. Yeah, started in the 60s.
But the thing is, you can still do that with Star Wars. If you just respect the damn lore and have good stories. But they instead chose just a destructive path. It's just like the comics. You could respect the comics and still take elements of the comics, but like when you're telling people, well, we're not here for the comic book fans. Comic book fans is the reason why Marvel has even existed, or DC. People buy those paperback books for Batman or Wolverine or Spider-Man. Yeah, sure, it's nice to bring non-comic book goers to it or non-Star Wars fans to it, but you still got to cater to your fans too.
Yep.
And that's what and instead, it's literally giving two middle fingers to everybody that was a fan and telling them, we don't need you. We're just going to go burn money. Why?
I don't know. I'm of the...
Mike?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know. I'm losing. It just seems like Star Wars is just lost.
Yeah, it's really, gone.
Really is. And the sad thing is that the good writing, the whatever writing, it's like they don't have another story they can tell. It's the same thing that Hollywood had. Like Hollywood has had for whatever. I say this 40 years ago, 1984. We had Beverly Hills Cop, we had Transformers, we had Gremlins, we had Voltron, we had, I think, Masters of He-Man and the Master Universe.
No, we're literally rebooting everything or trying to resurrect stuff for sequels. Because everything else is gone.
Well, right, but they can't start new stuff because they need to hold on to the stuff that makes the money. And what makes the money is the He-Mans and the Transformers and the Star Wars and the toys and the this and the that and the whatevers. Like, and I don't know, dude. It frustrates me, and this is why I only seek out the actual entertainment that I want to actually watch. Again, this is
don't
why...
get me wrong. I would love to watch Star Wars, but I want to have good quality script writing. I miss those days. I miss that. You know, people ridiculed the prequels so much, and yes, I hated the first one. I hated Phantom Menace. The second one, Attack of the Clones, was Revenge of the Sith was my favorite.
Yep,
that was like hands down. I will still go back to watch Revenge of the Sith, but the other two, but usually it's 3, 4, 5, and 6 I'll go back to watch in that order because it just was better. Now I throw in Rogue One, which Rogue One, for its filmography issues and stuff, it's still way better than anything that Star Wars has been spitting out for a while. At least they have the cool scene with Vader at full power slaughtering all the rebels aboard the Corellian frigate. That was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Just walks in there, you hear his breathing lightsaber and all the guys panicking, and he's just crushing them all. That's how I visualized Vader at full power. It's like nothing's gonna get away. Because that's, even the books portrayed Vader as this unstoppable wrecking machine.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just one of those things where you have to it should all be about balance, and unfortunately Hollywood is not good on balance beams.
Not anymore. They used to long ago, but I think when we started the era of a lot of reboots, I think that's about the time that Hollywood started running out of ideas, and then they started, all these other companies started acquiring stuff, thinking that they could use it to make money, and their franchises just keep falling flat on their face because they've hired too many writers. They don't have any quality control with their writers anymore, and it's disappointing. But
and this also ties back into the internet and social media and everything else, because guess what, dude? 40 years ago, nobody knew who the writers were of Transformers, or the animators were of He-Man or Thundercats.
And you didn't see actors
right. I mean, okay, you saw the names on the, like, okay, again, take the Transformers cartoon because it's the easiest one that I can think of off the top of my head. You saw the beginning part, you saw the intro, you saw whatever, you saw the title card. The title card might have said Carnage in C minor, written by blah 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 at the end of the thing, because back then television actually had you watch all of the credits.
Yes.
It didn't do what streaming services do now. Oh, you finished watching this? Here, go to the next episode immediately. Don't watch these credits. Buddy of mine, Tom DJ, he and his friend, longtime friend of his, passed away a couple of years ago. Derek Ferguson. They used to do a podcast called Better in the Dark. Derek and Tom were always about, this was before the era of the Marvel end scene, after scene, end credits,
right,
etc. Tom and Derek always said, we stayed for the movie because people were, say what you will, okay, I know movie making, quote unquote, isn't as hard work as something as like police officer, fire. I'm not trying to compare those at all. I'm just saying, like,
it's a lot of people that put it together still.
Right, exactly.
Especially when you go into stuff like Beetlejuice, where they went back to the old strings and lifting people up on poles and stuff. That's a lot more people.
Right, exactly. That's my point. I'm not trying to...
No, I know what you mean.
I just don't want people to watch this and hear me say that movie making isn't...
I don't think anybody's taken that way, Mike. And the thing is, you said something that's spot on. Social media. So this actress comes out tomorrow and starts talking shit on everybody and starts blah 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 and already spinning in the face of the fans. Well, now you've already got people angry, and so now that's the talk, and now people don't want to go to it. Back then, it was shut your damn mouth, act, and then hang out with your Hollywood socialites. Spread your opinion to your Hollywood socialites at these rich man's ball or whatever, and that was their little circle. Today, they give everybody the finger and call them peasants while they're living in their ivory mansion up on the hill, and guess what? Now you've got people that are angry about it.
Yep.
And social media has caused a lot of that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. Absolutely. And it's just one of those things where I don't know. The problem. Okay, so going back to what I was saying, it was like nobody knew who. Like, okay, most adults to my knowledge. Okay, again, you see these names in the credits. You see Richard Donner. You see Richard Pryor. Oh, Richard Pryor wasn't a director, but I'm trying to think of the. You see Ivan Kershner. You see George Lucas. You see all these names. You see whatever in these credits. Back then, you didn't know who they were, and you didn't really have any way, because back then there was no social media. There was no instantaneously finding out every single thing of whatever, because guess what? Entertainment and acting and everything else is one part of that person's life versus when they go, like, acting, directing, producing, whatever, that's their job.
Mm-hmm.
And they do their job. Well, take actors specifically, since they're the ones that we obviously see, actors, actresses.
Right.
They put on roles. They do this. They do that. When they go home, they could be completely different persons. I am here to be entertained. I do not care what's going on in this person, actor, actress, job, performer's life outside of them playing whatever character they played in whatever movie, television show, cartoon, whatever.
Right.
I've just never cared about, like, all these shows over the last 25 and a half to 30, 40 years now. Of it actually started back in late 80s with A Current Affair and Hard Copy and, you know, Inside Edition and all this, and then that evolved into what we have now with all these other whatever, like all these gossip shows. And yeah, gossip is all right, it's you know, whatever, but like,
yeah,
really, what's not all right is all these paparazzi. Hello, Princess Di, perfect example. Oh my God, tragedy because of the damn paparazzi. Like, no, stay out of their lives. Like, you don't have, like,
I don't really want to know. I really don't want to know the deep inside thoughts of Mark Hamill. I don't want to know the deep inside thoughts of Carl Urban. I just want to see them on stage making us laugh, entertaining us, hearing the Joker's voice, or seeing the new Judge Dredd come out and kick ass. I don't really care what their politics are. I don't care what they stand for. I just want a good show. Yep. And I'll pay you.
Yeah. So, question: do you know what the one character, the most vulgar character in all of Star Wars is?
R2-D2, because he beeps everything.
Yep, they beeped all his lines.
Yeah, see, Mike, you've said it enough that I've heard it. You're like Hollywood, now it's a rerun.
Yeah. God, you just compared me to Hollywood. That's what Hollywood does. They terrorize people.
Yeah.
Bingo. Yeah, we're dealing with a real mind here.
Real mind here.
Yep. But no, I think Brad does have a good point. Ezra could change the timeline because he traveled through time in the Force and just start over. Because they at this point, if they continue the path they're going, it's not going to make any money. They just need to start over entirely. And
yeah, and here's the thing about the Acolyte. Other than the fact of what little I know about it, I haven't even sought out the trailer for it. I came so close the other day when somebody kept talking about it. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll watch. I literally came a half a second away from clicking the play button, and I looked at it. I'm like, this damn thing only has 3 episodes out.
Brad likes it.
This damn thing only has 3 episodes. I am not watching just
up to 5
whatever. Now. Okay, whatever.
Nah,
the point is,
I'm just giving Brad a hard time. I know he said it was just mediocre, which we've accepted mediocrity. It's in games, it's in movies, everything's mediocrity, and you pay more for mediocrity than you used to. Just think of that. It's just like it's just like 7 Days to Die. The game, it doubled in price. You're paying for mediocrity. All they did was do some graphic improvements, little fixes here and there. And that's it.
Yeah, so there's only 3 weeks left of The Acolyte, just so everyone knows. It's only an 8-episode series.
Yeah, and I'm sure it'll be canceled after one season.
I don't know.
It's like, yeah. But then again, the hate watchers are bumping the score up, so the viewership, so who knows? Who knows? But anyway, we've had a lot of topics to talk about tonight, so I figured we kind of wrapped it all up in a nice little bow and sprinkled a cherry on top. So what we got going on tomorrow is at 8 p.m. Eastern. I will be doing a live stream back to our gaming. Right now, it is either going to be Soul Mask or Manor Lords. I haven't decided yet. I'm leaning on either or of them right now. Friday will be Project Zomboid with me and Captain Ruggles in episode 3 of Escape from Louisville. We will not be escaping that Friday because we are waiting for Mama D. She will be out. So when she comes back that following Friday, we'll have our final escape and we'll be setting up our base. So we'll be having some interesting times there. Saturday, we'll have the DGen and Green stream with the Orcosaurus. Hopefully he doesn't betray me and leave me in the middle of the ocean this time. Or I don't betray him and leave him in the middle of the ocean with sharks without a paddle. Because, payback's a bitch. And then...
done.
And then finally, that night, we will probably be doing Bellwright or Manor Lord. CK3 is still on there. This is subject to change schedule-wise, so be prepared. We may even do an afternoon stream if it's like 110 degrees and everybody's sleeping. We may do a 2-hour Manor Lords in the afternoon. We'll just see how everything goes. So there could be 3 streams on Saturday. Sunday, depending on the weather, there may or may not be a stream. I'll let you guys know because I want to try to work on some garden videos when it's not 100 degrees. Because I do have a fun video for you guys if you guys are interested in the gardening side. 2 of my planters completely melted in yesterday's heat. Actually just melted. So I wanted to explain that because that's the type of crap that your plants are getting and why shade cloth's important. So that is a video coming up. If you haven't found out, I do have Kai Dragon gardening and cooking up. I have, I think, 8 or 9 videos up. Keep in mind, Mom's learning photography and stuff with that camera and trying to filmography and stuff. And I am too, and editing. So because there's a lot more editing involved and work on that. So just bear that in mind as, we're still trying to get better and better at our filming because there's a lot outside. And yeah, I know Dabbles always follows me for the gardening stuff. He don't follow me for anything else.
Dabbles.
I just,
Dabbles.
yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy. I just don't know what to say about him anymore. I know
what to say. No, it's YouTube friendly, but I know what to say.
Well,
we need to get that guy a bunch of Christmas lights.
Hey,
a nice bunch of blinking Christmas lights. Yes. What?
Hold on.
Are you gonna do what I think you're gonna do? Don't pull a Brad.
Nope.
Oh.
Check your messages.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, what we need to do is we need to get him a bunch of blinkety blink Christmas lights for July, because it's gonna be Christmas in July with Dabbles. That's right.
I'm glad that he's redirecting his hate towards you right now.
He's probably not paying any attention.
Oh, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's got smoke coming out of his ears right now, seething about it. Because only 6 months till Christmas.
You currently have 10 videos on the gardening 11 videos on the gardening channel.
Yeah, well, yeah, more to come. Another one's coming out tomorrow. But...
No, I know what you were saying a second ago before we went into the Dabble stuff about blah, 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 blah. Geekcastradio.com. We've got a bunch of stuff coming up.
Website looks fantastic.
Well, it does. It's Steve's working very, very hard on it, and no one can see that right now because we haven't debuted that. But
you'll look forward to it, guys. It'll look great.
Absolutely. Tomorrow I am recording in season 2 with my buddy Dave because we are doing 12 months of Star Wars. Dave and I have already agreed that we are not going to be discussing The Acolyte. Neither one of us really want to watch the damn thing, so we're not going to be doing that. We're going to be combining something that he liked and something that I have never liked, and I haven't seen it since I was a kid. We're going to be combining, and I haven't watched the thing that he liked. I'm going to do that before next week, but the movie RRR, we're going to combine that with Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom for a double feature coming up.
Nice. And to be fair, Mike's going to send you Christmas lights in July, so Merry Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
But no, with July coming in, they'll probably have a little bit more streams in the evening, just because it's going to be 100 for the next 3 or 4 weeks. So there'll be windows I have to take open for working on the garden stuff, just because it's too hot.
Mm.
Well, technically, Dabbles, this is true. The 4th of July is coming up in just a week, so... That's good. That's a good point.
Yes, but yes, the 4th of July is next Thursday. The 3rd of July is next Wednesday. Beverly Hills Cop, Axel Foley. Next Wednesday. Let's go.
Yeah, I will be, since my schedule is going to be really weird, I will be still doing a stream on Wednesday, but I'll probably do a special stream or 2 on Thursday since I have that day off because... I'm not really going out to do any fireworks this year because since I have to work Friday, there's no reason to be up super late and do all that normal stuff on the 4th of July. So,
yeah,
so there's that.
I'm so over fireworks. I haven't liked fireworks since 1991.
Fireworks are awesome, man. It's just they're expensive anymore.
They're awesome when they're done professionally, kind of thing, but I don't
I'm
need...
I'm more worried about certain people getting hurt with fireworks this year.
Well, right. I understand. Just in general, though, I don't need my neighbors setting fire. Like, they were setting fireworks off like 3 days ago. I was like, wait a minute. It's not even close to the 4th of July yet. Oh, right. The other holiday.
Yeah. Are they celebrating Canadian 4th of July or something?
Something like that.
Mm.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it's going to be... We got a whole lot of cool stuff coming up.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, and thanks for hanging out with Dabbles and being a good sport while we give you a hard time. As, you know, let's remember, Die Hard is Mike's favorite Christmas movie.
No, my favorite Christmas movie is National Lampoon's Senior Trip, which isn't a Christmas movie at all. Just like Die Hard.
No, really?
No.
Francis are celebrating his birthday. So just remember,
Yay,
guys.
Brad! Happy birthday, Brad! Sorry it took us 2 hours to get to that.
Oh, yeah, Mike, sing him happy birthday now.
No.
Yeah?
I don't sing. I leave that to the professionals.
Well, me too. I'm not singing.
No.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
We start singing, that subscriber count's going to go way down.
That's true. That's true. All right, everybody. I bid you good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.